welcome back to my channel. I've got something a little bit different today. I've actually made some things for a challenge that one of the people I follow on YouTube has got, and that's Rachel at Roxy Creations. She recently had a birthday and is going to make a journal, friendship journal. I think she's calling it the Birthday Friendship Journal. I'll check later and I'll link it down below in case you want to join in. And basically she was asking for one item, certain specific items that she'll then put in a journal, and it's a nice little reminder really of a little keepsake for her of some of her followers really on YouTube. She did ask for only one item, but I felt because out of the items I actually chose to make an envelope, and I felt it looked a bit mean really just sending one envelope, so I've sent one for each of her decades. I thought that was a good way of doing it because it is because she's just celebrated a birthday. So this is my entry. So envelope number one is obviously I've turned it into the actual packaging for her challenge. I made it out of some wallpaper. She is quite like me in this, that she's not really into bright or bling or glittery things, more muted palette perhaps, so I've kept this in keeping with that really. So it's quite a pale blue, duck egg blue really, pattern on the wallpaper, and then I've just used this bias binding to tie it up, and then I popped some lace. I don't know how old this is, but this is just some lace crochet trim across the bottom. I did sew on the machine just along the edges. And then going inside is the other 4 envelopes, so that makes the 5, one for each decade. So I'll just go through these. That's the envelope. So one envelope that I made was inspired from something from Tracy Fox. I'll try and link all these where I've had my inspiration from. And basically, I think it's from a 2018 video. She made an envelope, but then instead of it just being an envelope, you open it up and you've got a lovely notebook. I put all different sorts of papers in here. Some of them actually are from a kit I bought from Rachel at Roxy Creations a few months ago, her coffee dyed papers kit. So there's some of those pages in, some vintage old maths books, some actual elephant paper from India that my friend bought me, and I just thought that was quite a nice little envelope. That's a little surprise. I popped a vintage cigarette card on there, just as a tuck to hold the little flap, and then just decorated the front, coffee dyed lace, some more of the elephant paper, and a vintage image from a digi-kit I've got. So that was envelope number 2. Envelope number 3, I had this idea from G Kerr. She's somebody else I follow on YouTube, and I just made a very much small scale version. She made envelopes and then popped little belly bands around the envelope, which I think is quite another nice way of just keeping the envelope down and the flap down, and then I just popped a little bit of a button material trim there. I did stamp R for Rachel there, or she can have it as R for Roxy Creations, whichever she prefers. And a bit like the other envelope, this is not sealed. This is what G Kerr did, and it's so that when that's in a journal, you've actually still got all that space that you can journal on. So that was envelope number 3, I think I said. I'll pop the, will I get that on there? Oh, I'll do that afterwards. So envelope number 4 was inspired by Artie Mays. She does a lot of napkin decoupaging and coffee dyeing and stamping and colouring with inks. I've never done the colouring with inks, so I decided I'd try it on this, and I'm fairly pleased with how it happened. This was a CD envelope. It was bright white, so what I did first of all was coffee dye it. Then I sprayed some inks that I've got, can't remember the brand, added some tea bag to it so it took the colour off it, it wasn't so bright, and just sort of smooshed it in like that. Let that all dry. Then I rubber stamped over parts of it with this little script stamp that I've got, And then lastly, I popped some napkin on, just ripped little bits out of the napkin that I'd got and built up this picture. And again, I thought it was quite muted colours, very pretty. So that's envelope number 4. And the 5th envelope was inspired by, oh gosh, I know this is a Tracy Fox label. It just escapes me now who it was that oh, Janet Thurston at Thurston House. That's who I got the inspiration for this. This is a botanical page from a vintage book that I've got. I just basically took the page, folded it up into an envelope. You can see that's the other side of it. I did ink the edges. I know Rachel's not a big inker, but I just thought, she did say to do it in our style, so that's one of my styles, is to ink. Sewn it on the sewing machine, popped one of the Tim Holtz butterflies there, so that just acts as a little stopper again, really, for the flap of the envelope. So that's just a different style envelope, and that's really what I was aiming for with this, was just to get different styles of envelopes. So that is my entry for Rachel at Roxy Creations. I have popped, using Pam at the Paper Outpost, her closet idea, I can't remember what she calls it, and so I made one of those, and that will be popped in separately to the envelopes. This is just a note to explain about the envelopes, and I quite like how that's come out. I'm not a big fan of my handwriting, but I think it looks quite nice as it is. So that is all I've got for today. I just wanted to show that, and I will be popping that off in the post. I will link Rachel's video down below. I think this is challenges running until March, so if you wanted to go and check that out and join in, you can do. But for now, that's really all. So thanks for stopping by. Bye bye.